Hey everybody, it's Cool Kid here, and I'm doing another one of my One Piece chapter review. Chapter 1018, and oh man, this is a pretty good chapter. I can't wait to talk about it. But before we get on with the chapter review, I'd just like to say that the recent viewer card pack just came out, and I'm going to be honest, I am thinking about doing it. So I'm not sure if I am or not, so I'm not really going to talk about it much other than one piece of information, that is Roger Sword's name is Ace. And I know all of you are thinking, and let's just save that until I possibly talk about, the Beaver card. I'm not so sure about that. And also, I guess the only other thing is my two recent videos, before this one, are, re-uploads of stream. I've been streaming again, not a consistent schedule, but I've been streaming, so, I did say I want to do more gaming videos, so, hey, that might be up in the future. I might stream more, so, I don't know, follow my Twitch or whatever. But yeah, other than that, let's get into the chapter review for chapter 1018. And I know I don't usually talk about the title of the chapter, but this one is Jinbe versus Who's Who. That's exactly who. God, okay. I do like this because Jinbe versus Who's Who. I think we all want to see more of that, and that's what we're getting. And also, we gotta talk about the cover page as usual. So this is another cover page request, and it's page 1, reading a picture book, while Ulti persists him to play with dinosaur plushies. So yeah, we got freaking page 1 just sitting there, just trying to read a dinosaur picture book with Ulti in the background being like, "Hey, come on, Pepe, come on, play with these plushies already, these dinosaur plushies." Actually, fun fact, I kind of noticed, not on the first reading of this, but it took me a while to realize this, but all the dinosaur plushies that are in the background, they're actually all the, ancient zones of all the Beast Pirates crew. And including, I guess we got Kaido with his dragon, with the little dragon on top. And, everyone else who, has an ancient zone is represented here. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool that, Oda went in detail. Also, I guess, I'm reading the unofficial, so I don't know if this will say this or not in the official, but it does have a note of saying that the requester asked for kid versions of both characters, but Oda decided to draw them as adults. Actually, I think it actually works just as good as if they were, adults than kids. It kind of works just as good, but to be fair, it probably only works good with those two characters. So yeah, this is a nice little cover page. I mean, I've been saying this before. I'm loving it. Oda's just not going for, straw hat this, straw hat that. He's going for, out there characters. And if someone's like, I'll draw Pepe. But, I do kind of find it interesting. This one includes no kind of animal at all, because usually cover page requests, someone's like, yeah, can you... So where was I? Oh yeah, Oda usually goes for the, requests that are like, hey Oda, can you draw this character with a hippo? Or, some other wacky animal. And, they're doing something weird and different. That's what Oda usually goes for, but no weird animals. But I mean, I'm guessing stuffed animals is close enough, right? But, it's a pretty cool cover page. Actually, I think it might be my favorite cover page out of the recent ones that, have been out. So, yeah, I like it. And plus, I'm guessing the last we'll see of them for a while in the main story. So, yeah, I talked all I wanted about the cover page. Let's get into the chapter itself. So, the chapter starts off with, we see all of these headliners, including Hamlet, which is, Oda's second favorite smile user, so we can't forget about that. And they're all just switching sides and everything, and we got a couple of the Beast Pirates being like, "Wait a minute! It must be that brat. She must have some kind of weird power. Hey, man, do you think we could stop it by killing them?" So yeah, let's do that. And they're going after Nami, Otama, and Usopp, and I mean, honestly, it doesn't take that much heart to think that it's obviously Otama. But, I thought, if Queen can catch up, I'm not sure, the rest of the grunts can catch up. And they're running away from around Beast Pirates until we got Daifuku coming in to take care of them. And we got this little scene where Otama's like, "Daifuku!" And Daifuku's like, yeah, I just love that. But yeah, Nami and Otama catch up with Speed, and she's like, "Come on, hop on." And so both of them get on. I just love it. While both of them get on, we got Usopp being like, "Hey, wait for me!" So yeah, we got Speed being like, "Everything just went as you planned, right, Master?" And then we got some random gifter. I believe it's Gazelle Man, but I honestly don't remember most of their names. So yeah, I guess we got Gazelle Man being like, "We found Komodo collapse back there, but don't worry about it. Leave it to us." And Otama's like, "Wow, really? Thanks a bunch." And Nami's reacting to this like, "Wow, her ability is amazing." And Usopp's like, "No kidding. One moment enemies, the next moment they're friends." And we got Zeus. I'm just going to keep calling him Zeus for now. But yeah, we got Zeus being like, "So Nami, can I be your servant again?" And Nami's like, "What? No way. We could be partners instead. How about that sounds?" And we got, I guess, Zeus being like, "Nami, out of the way. Nami's partner's coming through." And I guess we got Usopp being like, "Wow, I guess she's not the only one who's got an amazing ability." So, yeah, I think right here is definitely interesting where, I guess, kind of the parallel between, I guess, Otama and Nami with, her getting Zeus, and also, I guess, Otama getting all these gifters. And, it seems like with the gifters, they view, I guess, Otama as, like, I guess her friend or master, and at least that's how Otama sees it. And with the whole thing with Nami being like, "Don't worry, Zeus, you're not my servant, I'm your friend." So even though to some it might look like, well, it's just straight up mind control, it's almost slavery. Like I don't know about that, but yeah, continuing on, we go back into the CP9, I don't know, reception room or whatever, and they're reacting to all this, like, so, with the headliners now switching sides, this makes an additional 2,000 additional traders. And with all this rampage, has an additional 2,000 casualties. So, we've already dwindled the Beast Pirates from 30,000 to 20,000. And if you account all the defects, this means it's currently 16,000 to 9,000. They're showing the Go board, representing this, and they're like, with the gifters' help, the White could continue in their success. And we got, okay, we don't know any of their names, so I can't really give them a name. So the one who's holding his mask up like this, he's been like, "The victors to no consequence of us." Hold that information, put a point in that. We just need to confirm his death. And then we go with the one with the top hat mask. I wish they had some kind of name. Alright, please don't give us names so I can identify them in reviews. But yeah, the one in the top hat's like, "We have verified his identification because even if it is him, any confidential information should be dated by now. But his survival wouldn't harm the government. And then we go back to, the one holding the mask being like that, and we got allowing a rogue to live, which just set a bad precedent. And then we're back to the top hat one being like, who would say that he would survive the night? And then we go to the other one I mentioned, where I think we can see one of his eyes or what. I don't know. We can't see anything. They're all wearing masks. He's facing Jinbe after all. So before we continue the next scene, I do think it's information that I thought for a while that they might be leaning towards one side or the other, but as they said, who's ever the victor is no consequence to us. So I definitely think that's interesting, because I wonder, do they just not care who takes control of Wano or Onigashima? Well, I guess I'm going to be sure they're going to be like, okay, either way, we know what they're going to do, and maybe they even came onto Wano, onto Onigashima. Well, CP9, because obviously the weapons deal and everything, but they came to the Fire Festival specifically so they can take out him, and specifically, I think we all know who. That's who. Everyone's got to run that joke to the ground, but yeah, they're specifically looking for who's who, and they know that he used to be a CP9 member, which actually now I'm thinking about, is who's who really who's who's name? It could probably be. I mean, I guess that would make a good false name, but still, as they even said in the chapter, it's not really about the information that he has. It's completely dead by this point, or the fact that his survival wouldn't necessarily bring harm to the government. It's just like, look, we allow a rogue like that to escape. It just would set a bad point. So yeah, they are. I'm presuming, because they obviously didn't know this rebellion was originally going to be planned. So I presumed, I guess at some point, if the Fire Festival went as it normally should, maybe they were planning to secretly kill who's who, capture him. Who knows? I definitely do think that's interesting, that they possibly came here onto Onigashima just for who's who. I definitely think that's interesting. But yeah, we go to, I guess I'm back on the 4th floor with who's who, let's see, we got who's who and Jinbe fighting, and all just the random Beast Pirate members are being like, oh damn, who's finally getting serious. We better get out of here. So then we got who's who goes to do a moonwalk. Then Jinbe says, so does that mean you hold a grudge against Luffy? And who responds like, my issue's the one who stole the gum fruit, red hair Shanks. And then he goes in for a bang pistol, and then we got Jinbe arming up his arm to block the attack, but it's still able to go through the armament hockey, which is interesting. And then we got who's who being like, Luffy wears the same straw hat, and he's gained power of the fruit. So it's naturally my resentment spreads to him. So who's who, I guess anger just goes to in close proximity. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But also, we just see, like, just below on the 3rd floor, freaking who's who, I guess, Fang Pistol, breaks through down the floor, and we see some of the, people on the 3rd floor being like, well, what the hell is something collapsing? Is this freaking who's who Fang Pistol? What the hell is going on? So, yeah, it shows how strong they are, and we go back to the 4th floor. And who's like, oh, dodging was a wise move. Your armor hockey wouldn't even be enough for you. Even if you had tried to block it, you would have been eaten alive. I don't think a slimy fishman could move so fast on land, Jinbe. And then we got Jinbe being like, I'm not so sure what to say. it's generally no longer acceptable to express discriminatory views on fishmen. And then we got Husu being like, oh, my bad. You know, that reminds me of something I want to ask. And then he goes, iron body, and he goes towards Jinbe, and he does Fang Cavalry Flash. But then Jinbe is able to hold, I guess, the fangs, the large, saber tooth or whatever. But yeah, he grabs those and throws them over with Fishman, Jiu-Jitsu, or Karate, or whatever, with even title shoulder throw, and throws him over, which gets Who's Who down, and then Jinbe does some water bullets, but then we got Who's Who doing a Soru, so he dodges it out of the way, and we got him being like, damn, that hurts. But I still wanted to ask you one thing. You see, when I was in prison, I did heard a story. I was told mockingly pray to someone for salvation. So, yeah, we got Who's Who basically explained that apparently slaves in ancient times and a legendary warrior that would eventually come and save me. They called him the sun god Nika. I think I'm saying it right, but Nika. It said he would bring laughter to their lips and free them from their suffering, but who knows who would save them? I'm actually going to say that to talk about that until the end of the chapter, but continuing on, Who's Who continues to fight Jinbe, and while he's talking, he's like, my cruel senses was dragging on what it felt like forever. So I cling on to the legend. I really didn't care about the details at all. I just wanted to be safe. And Jinbe's like, so what does it have to do with me? And he's like, you lied. The Sun Pirates, when I heard a whole crew was made up of former slaves. Besides, isn't the history of fishermen slavery? Then we got Jinbe responding this like, ugh. And then Who's Who does basically like just a bunch of like finger pistols at close range to Jinbe, and he does with a lot of them. And I don't know. I can't tell if this is like Oda's shading this a certain way, or if Jinbe's hawking up fully, and we got, I guess, just a bunch of Rampage pirates reacting. It's like, oh yeah, crush him! Who's Who? Take him down! The Flying Six are really powerful. The former warlords I don't match. And we got another panel of him just blocking all this, which I wonder, is it all armament hockey? Is he fully armament hockey his body, or is it just really dramatic shading? I can't tell. But yeah, Who's Who continues talking like, the guard who told me about Nia, he vanished without a few days later without a trace. I figure maybe that story wasn't meant to be shared. So hearing that put me in danger too, so I risked my life to break out of jail. It's curious, isn't it? I love to hear what you know. And then suddenly, while he's keep doing his finger pistol, suddenly his finger pistol, I guess, bends from one of the, I guess, Jinbe blocking. And then Jinbe grabs both of his hands and does Fishman Karate, Shark Garp, and he's like, I have nothing to say with you. Then Who's Who does a Fang pistol on Jinbe, dead on, but Jinbe takes it like a boss, and he goes in for Fishman Karate, and we got Who's Who being like, why are you so mad all of a sudden? And Jinbe, steps on Who's Who's tail, so I guess he locks him down, and Jinbe's like, if you're going to make accusations about other people's histories, and he does gargoyle fish, you better pit. You better not be half-assed about it. And, you know, all the Beast Pirates are being like, who's who? And then the last panel is just Jinbe looking honestly pretty pissed, which actually might be the first time I think I've seen Jinbe this pissed in the story. But yeah, chapter ends, and unfortunately, we have a break. So yeah, another break. But yeah, so yeah, I guess I'll discuss about the chapter in general now. That's what I'd like to do. But yeah, so I guess the first thing I want to talk about Jinbe first because it's very interesting in this chapter. And at the end, as I said, he looked very pissed. I can definitely tell. The reason I guess I give to you is the whole thing with the Sun Pirates and I guess who just dismissing their name and making accusations about them or what, because we don't even know what happened to the Sun Pirates. I think Jinbe made like one offhand comment about them, but we have no goddamn clue what happened to them really, between everything between Big Mom and everything, and now we honestly, it would be I don't know if Oda would do this, but it would be a big shock if we find out that all the Sun Pirates, except for like, I don't know, maybe Aladdin or something, they're all dead. Alright, dead. So, and if that happened, then we got freaking who's who just, talking all about this. Jinbe's like, you better not do that. And just, who's who in general is being like, oh yeah, Fishman's history is all just about slavery. So, this just brings up a boil with Jinbe and everything. I guess that relates to everything with Fisher Tiger. So Jinbe is just straight up pissed all about that stuff. That's what I can probably presume why Jinbe is mad. So I guess the next thing I'll talk about who's who, which really he's only shown like one new technique. Let me pull that up, which I was actually surprised that he just straight up did finger pistol. I didn't really expect that, but if if this is really how who's who ends, and the only real new technique we've shown in this chapter is Fan Cavalry Flash, which is a pretty cool move. It's just wow, that's it. I mean, I don't know if who's really out of the battle, honestly. If next chapter we find out that who's out of the battle, I could believe it. Right. So yeah, I guess I gotta talk about the big thing that who's who mentioned. Which I gotta mention one thing. He does specifically mention red hair Shanks. So I think I can say definitively for a fact that that Shanks got the gum fruit off of that government ship that who's who was guarding. So I'm pretty sure that's a 100% fact, because I know some people were guessing, well, maybe some other pirate crew went on that ship, stole the gum fruit, and then Shanks' crew, came across them. So maybe, but it's definitely interesting. I still think I was kind of right. Last chapter I said we might learn little bitty things about it, but we won't get any real information about this until after this arc. I'm having a big feeling about that. That's what I'm feeling. And I guess the next thing I gotta talk about is Nika. I hope I'm saying that right. That who's who mentions that it's very interesting. It's very interesting that the sun god Nika. I'm just gonna say it's probably who's who. I definitely think it's his who, because the whole thing with joy and laughter. I don't know. That makes sense to me, right? And obviously it must be important in some kind of way if the world government, like as who's who says that freaking one guard told the story or something, and then the next day they were just gone like that. So I definitely do think that I don't know if exactly all the details in this story match up, but they might tell some real truth in it. There's some kind of truth that the government doesn't want out. Not even to, I guess, prisoners, which actually, speaking of prisoners, I don't think Who's Who wasn't impelled down. And a lot of people are thinking that because, it's the big prison, but I think it's more likely than not because he keeps mentioning prison, prison, prison. Maybe like, Who's Who could be in a special prison just for like, rogue CP9 and other government officials. Not put them in the same, like, with Impel Down and mix them with the, the regular crowd. And heck, even level 6, they probably don't want them to mix together. So probably just making an exclusive prison just for, rogue, CP officials and government officials. They don't want that and all their information come out. So they lock them up in a, just a completely separate prison. I could honestly believe that. And honestly, that still would make sense because, there's only real 2 big breakdowns and Impel Down. So that's as much sense as I can think of off the top of my head. So back to Nika. I don't know exactly what details and, it's obvious that Joy Boy has some kind of connection to, the Fishmen and Merfolk. So, I definitely do think, the fact that this being Joy Boy obviously makes sense. And we might learn more about Joy Boy in the future. Maybe through Jinbe. Yeah. Also, the little silhouette we got of Nika reminds me of, God, I forgot which, Skypean race was it, but it was the, whatever Wipers race was. I forgot what was it called, but yeah, those ones, they dressed kind of just like that, so very, very interesting. Just a theory. I mean, it doesn't look like Joy Boy has any kind of wings, but could Joy Boy be a Skypean? Now that's crazy, right? It's no, maybe. I mean, the original Joy Boy, and I feel like it's pretty obvious that we know Joy Boy is a title for the original Joy. I don't know what's freaking up with that, but yeah, I talked all about that about Who's Who and Jinbe in their fights, so there's that. Also, I guess the fact I'll continue with the CP, Zero stuff. I already talked about that and linked earlier. But, I will mention that they do mention he's facing Jinbe, and obviously Jinbe's not going to be, killing him like, finish him! Fatality. But yeah, Jinbe's definitely not going to do that. But I could definitely see in the future that, maybe the CP0, everything ends, and then the CP0 see Who's Who, and they're like, so it is you, and then they just kill him on the spot. Could be that. It could definitely be that. Once they, I'm pretty sure they'll tell, even with the mask or not. Who knows? That's who. God, love making those jokes. And the first, re-explain that, not everyone's a goddamn idiot. Of course they can figure out Otama. That's so weird that, I guess last chapter, it's pretty easy to figure out, right? So I'm pretty sure almost everyone, figure out what's up with that, and that's really it with the chapter. I did like it. We got a good fight with Jinbe and Who's Who. I really thought they were just going to skip it, but with last chapter and this chapter, we got to see what's up with Who's Who, and God, I don't know if this is the end of the fight. I kind of would be a little bit disappointed, but still at least we got it, and hey, maybe we'll get some with the. Actually, you know what? The thing that's surprising me is this is still Act 3. We're still getting these fights. Really did think for a while that, like, okay, OT, page 1, we got rid of their fight, but everyone else's fights will be waiting for Act 4, and, God, I don't know when Act 4 is going to, Act 3 is going to end, and Act 4 is going to start. God, what's happening next chapter? I don't know. Maybe we're going to continue back with, Yamato. I would like that. I don't know. Maybe we'll continue back Yeah, actually, now I think about it, I'm having a feeling because for a while, we had chapters like at least a moment with Yamato and Momonosuke and Shinobu. We usually caught up with them, but I'm having a feeling the next couple of chapters, this is what's going to happen. Usopp, Nami, and Otama, and I guess now Speed. These people are going to exactly, we're going to be focusing a little bit on them. Not too majorly, because this took like maybe the first just like I guess 3 or 4 pages, maybe 5 or 6, just the first little bit of the chapter. I'm having a feeling that's how it's going to go from the upcoming chapters. How many chapters until we got Act 3 ending? I don't know. That's the best I got. But yeah, that's really it. Yeah, but we do got a break. So hey, that's the perfect time to make that. One Piece discussion video. I gotta make those discussion videos, but yeah, I guess that's really the end of the video. I did talk about enough about the parallel between not the parallel, but the interesting fact they parallel the whole thing with Nami and Zeus and Utama and her with the gifter. So I definitely did think that was interesting. I talked about that enough, but yeah, in the video, actually, I do want to mention the intro where I mentioned the moment with Roger's sword being ace. Oh my god, you cannot believe how many takes I took that with me saying, Whitebeard's sword is... I kept doing that. I don't know why. My mind kept doing that. Like, I would presume that, like, I don't know, people who... the English VAs for JoJo characters that, actually really like JoJo came in and they were probably going to be like, let's go, Sticky Finger! No, wait, shit, no, it's Zipperman, remember, Zipperman. Sticky Finger, Zipperman, so I guess it's something kind of like that, I would presume, but yeah, God, that took me so many takes. But yeah, my drink I did. Is there anything really else I can say? I mean, I know I said earlier I'm not sure if I'm going to do a Beaver card video. And I did do videos about the SPS. I haven't touched the Beaver cards. I don't know if I'm going to do them. But, hey man, I like talking about useless stuff that no one cares. Actually, they do have some kind of somewhat important information, including characters' bounties, that we don't know about. I won't tell you what, but we don't know about the bounties. So we just gotta put a point in that. Alright, guys? Got a point? Gotta put a point in that. Maybe. So, who knows? We'll see in the future. But yeah, do like, comment, subscribe. You do whatever you do, alright? I don't know if this is a good video or not. But, yeah, I guess I'll, see you guys, not next week, but the week after that, when One Piece continues. And maybe Act 3 will end. God, when will Act 3 end? It's a never-ending cycle. It's a never-ending cycle! But, yeah. End credit stuff. Dealio. Actually. Like the drink I was drinking Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Okay, I understand this is like a, exclusive Mountain Dew flavor at Taco Bell and everything. And they only release it in stores to drink only during the summer. But why don't they just make it a year-old thing? Just drop the Taco Bell thing, or is Taco Bell still paying them enough money to keep it exclusive? You know what? I bet you that. But, yeah. Actually, another thing. Should I take that Jaws poster down? I like it. I'm just curious. I still doubt if you said a lot, but yeah. Yeah. I probably still would keep it if a lot of people said take it down, but yeah. Yeah. Also, should mention, yeah, by this point, I have decided on, for my 50 subscribers special that, you could have sent entries for me what to do. I've decided, I picked a choice. So, yeah, it's coming. It's probably going to come out sometime later this month. I can't guarantee it, but so expect that soonish. And also the final Attack on Titan chapter review. I do hope, because I don't want the final chapter review just to be a chapter review, or I don't know. I just want it to be a special thing. But yeah, see you guys later. Bye. God, I just suck at ending these type of videos. You know what? I'll just end this with a who's who. Who is that? That's who, exactly. Okay, it makes actually a lot more better. This video makes a lot more better with more who's who jokes. We should keep running them into the ground until that character's dead. Because that's the easiest joke there is.